in crowd. 815 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 in crowd. 815.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815 in crowd, 815 in crowd, 815 in crowd, 815.
Oh, goodness gracious. You know, every second of every day, about 300 people are simultaneously spilling drinks all over the world. My name is Greg. That's Tom piling into his seat.
I
at the
literally thought I had 1.5 to 2 minutes. I'm so sorry.
It is the 31st day of May, the year 2025, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind. And you know my motto, good help is hard to find. I'm sorry. Listen, dock my pay for that first 30 seconds.
Well, I was just mentioning, Tom, how every second of every day, 300 people are simultaneously spilling drinks all at the exact same time. That's pretty impressive.
That's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny.
If 300 million people spilled drinks, we'd have a flood.
Oh, my goodness. That
The
would be
likes
scary.
of Noah.
Maybe we could try that. Maybe that's something we could try. See if that would work.
By the way, how many people did Moses have on the ark? How many sets of animals?
All of them. I don't. What was? There's an
I'll
answer
ask the
there.
question again. How many sets of animals did Moses have on the ark?
Oh, that's right. Moses didn't build an ark. Thank you for.
That's right.
So I took Christy and I took that our wedding anniversary cruise in Hawaii over her spring break this year.
Uh-huh.
And I got to be a part of a game show in one of the evening events. It was like the weakest link, basically the weakest. There was 5 of us playing the weakest link.
And the weakest link gets thrown overboard. Is that what it was?
Something like that. So I'm up there with 3 other players. I think 3 other players. I think there's 4 of us total. So they're doing they do, you know, how the weakest link works.
Yeah.
You ask each person a question and points add up, and the more points, the bigger the prize and such. So they get to me, and like the first question I get is, what is the last word in the Bible? And I'm like, amen. I knew that one. So, ooh. And they ask another couple of questions. Some are hard, some are easy. And then they get back to me, and the question is, how many pairs of animals were on the ark with, on the Moses ark, whatever. And I'm like, no. It was worded that way anyway. And I tried to answer it, and they're like, of course, he said, like, no, Moses didn't build the ark. I was like, oh, I gotta listen. Anywho,
oh, that's hilarious.
Thank you for reminding me of that fun moment on the cruise ship when I got a question wrong and get right. But the guy that I was sitting next to, we were both doomed anyway. The 2 ladies next to us were smart. They were getting questions answered, and they were easily voting us off first. So
it sounds like the questions were kind of maybe a little easy, and I understand why from somebody who does trivia. Well, maybe not. But I mean, the 2 you asked me were easy. One was a trick question. Maybe my boss wrote it. But anyway, the funny thing is, it's when you make a quiz for people you don't know, you usually want to make it a little easier so people don't go, wow, this guy, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Thanks a lot, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we know that, theory of relativity is E equals MC squared. Now define it, Oh, okay.
Well, hey, we've got a good show for you and the person still sleeping next to you. So if you're sleeping next to someone who normally, listens live to the show, maybe give them a nudge and wake them up. Say, hey, Tom and Greg are talking now. We're going to visit with a couple of ladies from the Alpine Kiwanis Club here. Of course, they have a big event coming up every summer that we're going to talk about. BRAT Days will be here before you know it. And love that. And then Boone County Jujitsu is hosting our In-Crowd 815 networking group for the month of June. So we're going to hear all about that from Jason and his buddy Aaron. But first, let's take care of it's time for our big number of the week. This week, our current race to 10 has Tom in the lead by a score of 7-5. And our big number of the week this week is a cool, crisp, even 100 million.
Oh,
100 million. And is the answer music or monitored?
Million.
Okay. Music or monitored, 100 million. Put your guess in the comments and let us know what you think our big number of the week answer is. And I think the story from this one came out a week and a half ago. It's within the last 2 weeks, though, that I found this big number and I made it our big number of the week this week. So put your guess in the comments. We don't want to have any shout outs this week other than to say, check out incrowd815.com, our fun new merch. If you haven't gotten a t-shirt yet or a hat, they are there. Please support our podcast and what we're doing here in the 815. It would be greatly appreciated. And everyone needs some good 815 gear. So stock up on your 815 gear at incrowd815.com. Our first guests today, and we get this big, awesome logo up on the screen. Alpine Kiwanis has been around for 50 something years, maybe longer, probably longer than that. But Karen and Kathy are going to tell us all about it today from our local Alpine Kiwanis Club in Rockford. Ladies, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
I sent it, Greg.
All right. I got Tom's answer. Do you have any idea what the big number of the week is about this week? Music or monitored?
I'm going to say monitored.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was going to say too.
Okay, the ladies are going with monitored.
So we all three said that. So the prize is a brand new car wash. So we're going to have to figure out who gets the car wash.
I was going to say, how are we going to share that? Yeah.
We'll all bring our cars there and we'll spray each car down really quick before the 75 cents runs out.
Okay.
There you go. Alpine Kiwanis has been around for a little bit. Before we get into all things Alpine Kiwanis, so we want to learn about you ladies first. So let's start with Kathy. Kathy, tell us, please, where did you grow up and maybe where you went to high school and what arc led you to the Alpine Kiwanis Club?
I am actually from Rochester, New York, born and raised.
Okay.
And I went to Nazareth Academy in Rochester, and before I went off to college, and I went to college in Canada, actually.
What?
Oh, wow.
I did.
Hey?
Yep. Hey, that's exactly right. I used to say that a lot. And then my husband, who had gotten a PhD at IU, Indiana University, he was recruited to come here to work for Pierce Chemical Company, now Thermo Fisher. Okay. And so we've been here ever since 1975. Well, raised our two boys here. Yeah. And your other question was, Alpine Kiwanis. Well, interestingly enough, I was right after I retired from Hamilton Sunstrand in 2011, and after 37 years, and I'm driving through the drive-through Alpine Kiwanis over at Schnucks on East State Street at the time, and one of the guys who I knew from work, he came over to the car with my order. And he said, hey, now that you just retired, you need something to do. Why don't you come visit Alpine Kiwanis? And so I did the following Thursday, and I've been with them ever since, and past president, past lieutenant governor, and all that good stuff. So I wear the hat, I eat the food, I am Alpine Kiwanis.
So you're telling me you needed one invitation to show up and join the Alpine Kiwanis Club?
That was it. Actually,
That's
I should be fair about that. We had good friends who were Alpine Kiwanis, and so that's who we got our tickets from, and so fairly familiar. And Phantom Regiment, both our boys marched in Phantom Regiment, and they used to perform too. So for BRAT days, so I was kind of familiar.
awesome. That's awesome. All right. So Karen, is your story similar to
Cool.
Kathy's? Tell us about your, where did you grow up?
A little bit different than Kathy. I'm from Central Illinois. I went to, now this is trivia for you, so you can figure out where I went to school.
Okay.
What school did Ben Zobers go to? Where's Ben Zobers from?
Oh, Ben. Decatur? No.
He went to Normal High School.
Eureka. Ronald Reagan territory.
Yes.
Ronald
Reagan.
And actually,
yep.
I've met.
If you'd have said Ronald Reagan,
Right. Actually, I've met Ronald Reagan a couple times. That was a place that he visited a lot. I went to high school in Eureka. We were the Eureka Hornets.
Don't mess with Hornets.
I went to Greenville College, and then I decided to make a switch and went to Methodist School of Nursing in Peoria. So what a lot of people don't know, because I didn't do a lot of things with working in my field, is that I'm a registered nurse. But I was did two things. I taught at Rock Valley College, class everybody's got to take, medical terminology. And I was at MELD for 25 years and retired from MELD.
Nice.
So how did I get to Kiwanis? I got to Kiwanis through MELD. They did then what they still do now, which is ask for an application from nonprofits for charities, support money. And I did that, filled that out, got a check presentation. A couple people I knew in the club said, why don't you come and join? That was in 2002. So I've been a Kiwanian since 2002.
Nice. And for those who don't know, what is MELD?
Wow.
MELD.
MELD merged with Youth Services Network, but it was Mothers Establishing Life's Direction. And it was working with teen parents.
Okay. Youth Services Network. I think we've had them on the show, but I don't remember if it was when we were a podcast or when we were still on the radio. So we might have to have them back, Tom. That would be
Sounds good. I do remember it. I do remember.
Yeah. So, well, awesome. Well, that is wonderful. Let's see if we can rearrange our screen here just a little quick, and there we go. Put you at the top. So the Alpine Kiwanis Club, for those again uninitiated in what Kiwanis clubs do you want to handle that answer, Kathy, and tell us what a Kiwanis Club does and what it is?
Sure. Kiwanis Club, we are unique in a lot of ways because we have so many, we're very large in terms of the typical Kiwanis Club is about 30, 40 members maybe. And we've got over 100 members in our club. And so we meet weekly and we have speakers and usually interesting efforts that are occurring in the Rockford area. And so we learn a lot in the process, and you guys are going to come and speak to us. So that's, we'll learn a little bit more. But basically the heart of the organization is the committees. Even though we might have great social time and breakfast on every Thursday morning, our committees do the bulk of the work that keeps us current. And it takes almost a year, Karen, I'm sure you'd agree, almost a year to get ready just for BRAT days. We just have one signature project. Many clubs have, multiple small projects that they do, fundraisers, but we just do the one. And it takes a few months to recover after we get through it.
It is a big deal. I'm going to bring up the screen here of BRAT days. This is your link tree. I'm going to go ahead and put this also in the chat so people can link this right quick and easy. Alpine Kiwanis BRAT Days 2025, the signature event coming up July 11th and 12th. And over the years, you guys have been at a few different locations. Because of the size of this, you always need a big parking lot.
Yes, we're finding that large parking lots are very few to find anymore. So but we're very fortunate to have the venues that we've got with Farm and Fleet on Riverside, and then Cherryvale Mall, which has lots of space for us as well. So we're very fortunate.
So go ahead.
I was going to say, in terms of Kiwanis clubs, our committees, as I said, do the bulk of the work. And we've got a fundraising committee, and we have PR committee. We have it's public relations, which Karen handles. And but the biggest thing after BRAT days, our charities committee gets they come up, at full speed and collect the applications for grants, and which are reviewed in depth, and then we are able to provide not donations, but grants to those organizations, which can be 20 to 30 in a year. And so we're very proud to be able to do it, which we would not be able to do without BRAT days.
I think the number one question most people would have to ask you is, how much money does BRAT days average to raise every year? I don't even fathom to guess what that big number might be.
Well, when you ask about how old we were started in 1968. Kiwanis did, but we started BRAT days in 1971. So this is our 54th year. And that first year was a charcoal grill and netting $715.
Yes.
And I think that was in someone's backyard. That didn't last long. And then it went to different places, and it grew from there. We've been at Colonial Village. That was a long time. We were there for many years. We've been up Northtown. We've been downtown. We've been at Harlem and Schnucks. We've been at the old Menards on 251. And we've been at the old Kmart on Mulford and State. And in the last couple of years have landed at Farm and Fleet and in Cherryvale Mall. This past year, we netted $110,000 that we were able then to pass on to nonprofits.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so that money that's raised through BRAT days every year is kind of spread out throughout the year, and the different organizations that come and speak and present to your group, basically.
Well, you can, yes. And I think a lot of people in the community agencies now know they can make an application. So we either have them come speak beforehand, or when they come and get their check, they come tell us about them. But like Kathy mentioned, the Charities Committee kind of scrutinizes not just the agency, but the project that they want to, they're asking funds for. And we start that, our fiscal year starts in October. So we start in October by meeting with those agencies and turning around the money from that past summer from BRAT days. And not only do we give to about 20 to 30 charities a year, we also give out scholarships to graduating seniors. This past week, 2 weeks ago, we gave 11 $3,000 scholarships to 11 different seniors going on to college.
So about a third of the money raised last year's BRAT days was given away as scholarships to students this year.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So it just carries on from year to year. So October of this year through May of next year of 2026, we'll give away the money or hand out the money to agencies from this year's BRAT days. So our goal, obviously, this year is to break 110,000. We couldn't do that without the sponsors. So we have a lot of sponsors, both monetary and in kind, that help us with this event. And our sponsorship levels this year are the highest they've ever been.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, everyone sees just how successful this is and how many people show up for it. Obviously, weather plays a little bit of a factor, but you have the drive-through thing, so people don't even have to really get out of their car to get their BRAT. That's one of the amazing things about how you guys have done the logistics for this event every year to almost rain-proof it in case it does have a bad weather day. That's okay. Drive through. We'll just hand it right through your window of your car, and off you go.
Right. And what we don't like to have is we don't like to have the rain. Usually we can think about, we're going to probably get some warm weather, but the rain puts a little dampener on people that want to come and sit and listen to the entertainment. And we
Yeah.
do have entertainment at both sites from 11 a.m. to close, and have local 2 and 3 piece groups. There's the entertainment schedule.
There it is. Look
Yep.
at that. We've had our kids over the years perform at this number of years. And actually my mother-in-law danced, and her line dancing friends, I think, danced in this the last couple of years too. So let's see here. Hey, my buddy Rob Petrie's performing at the Blaine's Farm and Fleet this year, 5 o'clock. How about that? Good job, Rob.
Oh,
Way to
cool.
go. So there's the whole lineup.
Wait a minute, you called him Petrie. I think it's pronounced
Petrie.
Petrie, and the reason I say that, well,
Yeah.
the reason I say that is because his wife's name is Laura, and it's Rob and
You're
Laura
right.
Petrie.
You're right.
Yeah, because I asked him about that, and he smiled and she smiled, and they looked at me like, "Yeah, we've never been asked that before."
Well, and then Tom Mack is a great guitar guy. I don't remember if Tom sings or not, but I know he's a great guitar player. What a lineup. All kinds of entertainment at the Cherryville Mall and at the Blaine's Farm and Fleet, July 11th and 12th for BRAT days. Is there anything special that people really need to know before they come out to BRAT days? I know they got ticket sales going on beforehand. Is there anything that you would just want to, maybe a misnomer, something that people think that they BRAT days is about, and you're like, no, it's really this, anything like that?
Well,
Go ahead.
okay. I was going to say, what I don't think people generally understand is that we also have vegetarian options.
Okay.
And this year we have the Impossible BRAT, which is vegetarian and vegan, and it's actually wonderful. I'm I'm a carnivore myself, but I have cooked them up, and I've actually bought my second pack of them because I really, really like the Impossible BRAT. So that's going to be a big hit this year. But also our meatless barbecue. I mean, we have people come with their Tupperware bowls, and we'll give them the buns to go with, but they'll fill a Tupperware bowl so they can have family dinner or guests over or whatever. I mean, it's really excellent.
Nice.
It's a homemade recipe from one of our members that was reconfigured into large quantities, and Brian's Trade Right makes that for us.
Nice.
And both of those products are served on a wheat bun. And we do have gluten-free buns if people request those.
Okay.
And one of the other things that we do is Alpine Kiwanis Club has key clubs. Key clubs are high school kids that are in Kiwanis, and they have their own, convention, like we have convention for Kiwanis, and they raise money by selling these really delicious, huge chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
And so they will come, and you can buy the cookie. All the proceeds from the cookie go to them. And so they get involved in doing volunteers work for us. And that brings us to volunteers. Actually, on this site is a link that you can go to the volunteer page.
There we go.
And sign up to volunteer at either site or both sites.
So I'm going to put this right in the chat as well, so people can go directly to this. Volunteer here.
Takes a lot of volunteers.
That's a good, how many volunteers every year do you guys pretty much have come out for that?
About 400 volunteers.
400 volunteers, Tom.
Wow. We've got 2 volunteers for the show here. And no brats. Come on, Greg.
Yeah.
Well, we got to ask for volunteers early, because on Friday we do Take Your Brat to Work. And that opens at 6 o'clock at Blaine's Farm and Fleet, 6 to 10, just on Friday. And you can take your brat back to work. And we have a lot of businesses that order and place their order at the number. You should have a number there to call, where you can get orders of 25 or more. Call ahead. They'll tell us what time they're going to pick them up, which location, and we'll have them ready. And it's become a very popular part of BRAT days, is the Take Your Brat to Work.
Nice. That's so cool. Anne's
Absolutely.
watching from our LinkedIn stream this morning, says BRAT Days is a Rockford tradition. You are spot on, Anne. Absolutely.
I just saw Anne. Anne is our president of our club.
Oh, thank you, Anne.
So,
Awesome. That's great. And if you're watching on Rumble, YouTube, or Facebook, and actually, I'm surprised the LinkedIn. You're helping us today, Anne, because I wasn't sure if comments on our LinkedIn feed could be shown on the live stream like this, and you just proved that they can. So thank you for that.
we even have a group of ladies that are together having breakfast this morning, watching the podcast.
Hello, ladies.
We're probably going to get critiques for this.
Where they having breakfast? I'm going to crash the party.
Probably Mary's on McFarland, Mary's Market.
Is that a?
Oh, okay. That's
so when you buy a ticket right now for $8, you get a deal, because the day of, the tickets go to $10.
Right.
But not only do you,
even $10 is a phenomenal deal.
Yes.
So,
and that's for a BRAT and the Mrs. Fisher's chip and either a Pepsi product or water. But you also get a deal because there's 6 really good coupons on the ticket. And we have heard people buy the ticket just to get the beefaroo and the Mrs. Fisher's chips coupons. So those are 2 really good ones. And Pearson has one for a discount, Pearson Plumbing. Last Gutter Helmet has one. And Advantage Quick Dry and Flood Pro both have coupons that you can use at their establishments for discounts. So it's a good deal.
That is a good deal. It's one of those things that is, it's a no-brainer. You buy the ticket because even if you can't swing by and pick up your BRAT, you still get these coupons, and you're going to use those. You're going to want to use those as well. So according to your website right now, 40 of the 250 plus spots available at Cherryvale Mall are filled for this year's event. And at the Farm and Fleet site, 69 of the 350 plus available slots are filled there already too. So you're well on your way to having your volunteers all signed up. And I imagine there's a whole lot of people who are already planning on volunteering. They just haven't gotten their time to pop over to the website yet and actually sign up. And I would remind you that tomorrow is the first day of June. I know it doesn't feel that way, but tomorrow is June 1st. And that means July's coming up pretty quick. So you're going to want to, get on the website and volunteer, sign up for your volunteer hours there and get that done before too long.
So did you just see the comment that the ladies are listening?
There we go.
Okay. That is so cool.
Carol and the ladies at Mary's Market. I wonder if there's a bunch of other people at Mary's Market going, what are they watching? What's this In Crowd 815 podcast thing? What? Yeah. So,
but we have to give a shout out to the guys too. We've got half of our club is made up of men, and we really need them to provide the muscle when it comes time to putting banners up and, pounding in posts to hold those banners. So awesome. We'll give them some credit too.
That's awesome. 100 plus members strong. Alpine Kiwanis Club is got something going on, and of course every year it's the big BRAT Days event, July 11th and 12th, and then of course they do need people to help set up on the 10th. So there's other things to do besides just standing and handing bratwurst to people in their cars. There's a lot of other things to do when it comes to logistics at an event like this. Someone's got to count the money. I mean, someone's got to put out the traffic cones. Someone's got to do all this stuff. So my wife and I have kind of made it a point every year to swing by the Farm and Fleet site while the Harlem High School K Club kids are selling their cookies, because we want to make sure we buy the cookies from her students over there at Harlem High School. Just
cool. Very cool. Thank you.
Well, if you get a chance, you should, come on by Cherryvale Mall. We have 4 lanes of traffic that come through on our drive-through, but 3 of them are under a tent, but the 4th one is not, because we get semis that come through off of 39.
Wow.
Yes. So it is really fun to watch them come through the drive-through.
You have to have really tall kids to hand bratwurst to a guy in a semi.
Right.
That's right.
One of the other things that is happening that same day at both sites, or Friday and Saturday, is the blood bank is going to be there from 10 to 2. Friday at Farm and Fleet, and 10 to 2 Saturday at Cherryville.
Love that.
And they're going to hand out BRAT tickets if you successfully complete your getting through your giving of blood.
Yeah. That's an
Yeah.
awesome idea. That is an awesome idea. Save a life and donate at the same time. It's a wonderful, wonderful
And
thing.
then eat a good juicy BRAT.
You got it. You got it. Well, before we slip into our transition trivia, I did ask AI if for some questions to ask you ladies today. So I've been trying this out most weeks. Our AI questions of the week. Have you played with AI at all on your phones yet? Have you done any Chat GTP or Gemini or anything like that?
I have to say
no idea what you just said.
You know, well, I've been playing with Gemini.google.com, and it's been a lot of fun. And I asked for 3 good questions to ask the ladies from Alpine Kiwanis Club in Rockford. And the first question that AI told me was, beyond fundraising, what is one specific project or initiative the Alpine Kiwanis Club has undertaken in the past year that you feel has had the most significant, tangible impact on the Rockford community? I mean, BRAT Days is the big thing. Is there anything else that you would want to add to that as far as a project goes?
It probably wouldn't just be one, because one of the things that we are known for is the volunteer work that we do. So we've made an impact, I think, because we collectively come as a group to many of the places. We help Rock House Kids. And I guess the other big one is Special Olympics. That's probably one of our big, where we participate, and the club, at large, is part of that.
Speaking of
what else can you think of, Kathy?
That usually takes place at Harlem High School.
No,
right?
at Rock Cut.
I know it does.
Rock Cut.
No,
Rock Cut. Oh, okay. Well, did they used to do Harlem
Well, no,
High
I
School,
take that
right?
back. That's Rock Cut. Polar Plunge is at Rock Cut. So we also participate in Polar Plunge. Sorry about that.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
No,
you're right. You're
fine.
correct.
But don't forget scholarships too. That's a big part of it as well. So.
All right.
What else?
We also, the Special Olympics.
Was that a cat? Oh, that's awesome.
Atlas wants to be on the show today, so sorry.
Atlas.
We are with Special Olympics, as Karen said. We do the Spring Olympics, and we do bowling. The bowling, which is in the fall at Cherry Bowl, and it's just awesome to be able to watch. I call them kids. They're adults, but they have excitement and enthusiasm like kids when they're participating and when they can get those medals. And so it's a very heartwarming experience both times. But one of the things that I liked the best, we did this a couple of years ago, and that was when they had that million meals, packing a million meals
at the sports factory.
Yes, and children around the world.
Yeah,
that was so much fun, and they have so many, like 5 people at a station, and so we had several stations that we manned, and it was just tons of fun.
Awesome.
The money that we give away isn't just to an individual projects. We also do capital projects. So we give some money away over over year. We'll decide how much, larger amounts, and we'll give that every year for like 4 or 5 years. And we are part of the doing that this year with the Equine Center.
Oh, that over Lockwood Park, yeah.
Yes. And so we have been out we do some off-site meetings, and we've gone out and seen how they participate, what they're doing for the community, and hands-on, which has really been helpful for many people with the mental health issues that equine therapy is helping with.
Right. The one time I got to visit your group here a few weeks ago, there was an update about the Lockwood Park. There was someone from the Park District at that meeting giving a fill in, and thank you to you guys for helping them out with all the stuff that's going on there at the Equine Center. These other questions AI gave me, we've already pretty much answered, and I did ask it for some funny or odd questions too. And the funny or odd question that I think was the most funny or odd: what's one Kiwanis related skill or talent you possess that absolutely no one would guess, and how has it come in handy for the club? Is there odd talent or skill one of you possesses that's actually come in handy at the Kiwanis events?
Can you juggle brats or something? That'd be kind of cool.
Well, wow.
Well, I think, I don't know if it's an odd skill, but I think you have to be flexible and understand that everybody in the club brings a certain talent and to the table. And we're all different, but we are all there for the same purpose. And so we're just one big family. So I'm not quite sure how to answer that one.
I'm going to put that down now.
Well, I guess I have to say, juggling everything that I have in my car. My car has become a BRAT day car. So when you open up the back, you'll have yard signs and wires to put up. You'll have posters. We put out placemats at Stockholm Inn. So you just come to my car and I open it up and it's like, okay, what do you need? What do you need?
I hope you have a large SUV.
It's right here. So yeah, we get a little BRAT day crazy here for about 2 months.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I think we covered all the bases this morning, and we do have some other guests to get to, but we want to do some trivia with y'all. So before we get to our next guests, let's try a little bit of this. Jumping on from Boone County Jiu-Jitsu, we've got Aaron and Jason on. Good morning, fellas.
Whoa.
Morning.
Good morning. Along with the ladies from the Kiwanis Club, we're going to try see if we can't score some points against Tom's Trivia Challenge here this morning before we talk about all things Boone County Jiu-Jitsu.
This looks like Hollywood Squares.
Let me just say, hey, ladies from Mary's Market, please put in the comments your guess to cut Tom's Trivia. You might be able to help us out today.
Ooh, all right. You won't need any help. Okay. Very, very first question goes to Kathy and Kathy only. Here we go. What is the first letter of the alphabet?
C. No, it's A.
You're still Canadian.
Hey.
All right, fine. Whatever. Hey. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? You ready?
For those who missed it, she went to college in Canada, so A is the part of it.
A. All right. You ruined it by saying C. Okay. Kathy is 0 for 1. All right. No, I'm kidding. All right. The entire team gets to play. Gregors, as usual, if you absolutely know the answer, let everybody else try and guess.
All right.
And then, of course, you're going to get the point anyway. Right. So the goal is 7 points. You're scoring a touchdown with an extra point. All right. Here we go. Your first category, populations. How many U.S. states have an overall population of less than 1 million residents? It's multiple choice. Is it 5 or is it 7? In other words, of the 50 states, how many of them do not even hit 1 million? 5 or 7? You don't have to name the states. I will give them to you anyway, but 5 or 7. I'll ask it one more time. How many U.S. states have an overall population of fewer than 1 million?
I see Aaron's feeling is 7.
Or is it 7?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any argument against it.
7.
All right, we got a 5. We got 2 7s.
I'm a 7.
Gregors, what do you say?
I'm trying to think in my head, Montana, Wyoming. Does Vermont have 1 million people? I don't know. I'm going to say 7.
Virginia for sure.
I'm thinking 7.
Okay, the answer is actually 5.
No.
Gregors, you and I have a mutual friend who grew up in Vermont, and it's John.
Yes.
Anyway, I know this because he said that Springfield's the highest populated city with like 58,000. So anyway, it's Wyoming, Vermont, Alaska, North Dakota, and South Dakota.
Wow.
Okay.
None of them have.
All right. Well, Kathy, you get the point. And the rest of us
are. It's part of the part of the car.
She redeemed herself after the C. So she's at 0. No, I'm kidding. All right. Here we go. This is Friends. It's got to be interact. No, I'm kidding. We're not going to play. Who was the only one of the 6 main characters on Friends to not get married at any time on the show? Was it Joey or Phoebe? Once again, who was the only member, or the only one of the 6 main characters on Friends to not get married at any time on the show? Joey or Phoebe?
Well,
Phoebe.
Joey was a actor, and didn't he get married as a part of the show? I don't know if it was a real wedding, but I thought he got married. But I don't. Gosh, this is a toss up for me. I don't know. Jason's thinking Phoebe. For some reason,
I thought it was Joey.
Yeah, I thought I saw Phoebe in a wedding dress in one episode.
Yeah.
Say Joey.
Joey's the correct answer. Toward the end, Phoebe got married
That's what I
second
thought.
time to Mike, played by Paul Rudd. Joey, how you doing? Joey was the only one that did not get actually married. I don't know about the one about the fake wedding or anything. I wouldn't
Dr.
count it
Drake
anyway.
Lamore.
All right. Dr. Drake. Did he fall down an elevator shaft that killed him off? If you're going to kill somebody off, that's how you do it, I suppose. There ain't no way he's coming back. Anyway, all right. So number 3, Yahtzee. How many dice are used in a game of Yahtzee? Is it 5 or 6?
6.
Love Yahtzee.
You got 6. Anybody else? You got 5. Anybody else?
One of the things in Yahtzee is a full
5?
house.
Yeah.
5.
So that's 5 dice to get full house. 5. All right.
Oh, you didn't. No, I'm kidding. It's 5. Good job. Good job. All right. We move on to round number 2. Music, please. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Round number 2. Bond. James Bond. What Secret Service agency does James Bond work for? I didn't write this question. It ends with a preposition. I'm going to change that around. For what Secret Service agency does James Bond work? That doesn't even sound right. Anyway.
Whom do you know that works with James Bond?
MI6.
MI6? MI6?
You look a lot older than that, but I don't know.
Take it.
Yes, it is MI6. It is MI6. Good job. I don't know which one
Aaron
of you two
got
it was,
that.
but good job, Aaron. Good job, Aaron. All right. Literature. Who wrote? Well, they pronounce it Les Miserables. It's actually Les Miserables. Come on now. No. Who wrote Les Mis? Les Miserables.
Multiple choice, Tom?
No. No.
Darn.
It's such a great musical, but I cannot remember for the life of me who wrote it. I have no idea.
I can give you multiple choice if you
Frank
want.
Lloyd.
Yeah, give us choice.
All right, your choices are Gore Vidal or Victor Hugo.
Why doesn't that help?
Yeah.
It doesn't help at
I
all.
don't
No.
I'm
Are you
afraid to say
messing with us,
anything.
Tom?
I'm afraid to say anything to get ridiculed by my musical friends. I'm in the Wedding Singer at Starlight Theater this summer, so I got a lot of musical friends. They're gonna laugh at me when they say, "You didn't know who wrote Les Mis." Come on.
I don't know. I feel like Victor
Don't
Hugo
know.
did Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Messing with
what did you just say?
Victor
What
Hugo
was
did
that that you
Phantom of
just
the
said?
Opera.
Oh yeah, there you go. You got it. Nicely done. See, I help along. Come on now. I'm always going to give you those little hints. Victor Hugo, yes. Gore Vidal wrote. Oh crap, I don't remember. But anyway, I just had to pull that one out of
The back
somewhere
back from your brain.
because I wasn't going to give you. Options, but I should always give options, shouldn't I?
That's all right. Sometimes
right.
we know this stuff.
I'm giving you
Sometimes
options. I'm giving you options on this one. Coffee. We are all coffee drinkers. I'm actually drinking out of a Christmas mug. Don't ask me why. It's got reindeer on it. Oh, well. All right, here we go. What country is the second largest coffee producing country in the world? Brazil is number 1. So is number 2 Colombia, Puerto Rico, or Vietnam?
Colombia.
I'm going to give you one slight hint. The answer may surprise you. That's your hint. Once again, what country is the second largest coffee producing country in the world? Brazil is number one, of course. Brazil's first. So number two, is it Colombia? Is it Puerto Rico? Or is it Vietnam? And I gave you the hint. The answer may surprise you, so that might eliminate one of
that
those.
would.
It should eliminate one of those.
I'm going to say
Got to be Puerto Rico.
Anybody else? And I'm not saying one way or the other, whether it's,
I want to say it's Vietnam.
I'd say Vietnam.
Ding, ding, ding.
Whoa,
Vietnam.
all right.
I did not know that. Everybody thought it was Colombia, and it is Vietnam. Isn't that strange? I would not have thought that.
I would have thought it was Colombia for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said that. Okay, now here's your final question. I was going to give you Rockford trivia. I should have, but I was thumbing through my book and I'm like, I don't see anything in here, and we got to do the show. So
good morning, Cassandra.
All right.
Get this question right, and you can stay on the show.
I am going to give you, I am going to give you your option of two different questions. I'm going to give you one: charcoal briquettes or the movie The Waterboy. Which would you choose?
Charcoal.
Charcoal.
Oh, dang it.
Okay, everybody wants charcoal.
Adam Sandler. That's the only thing I know about The
think you guys
Waterboy.
should've- All right, so here you go. Who invented charcoal briquettes?
Victor Hugo.
Was it? No, it was not. It was Gore Vidal. No, I'm kidding. Was it Henry Ford or John Kingsford?
Oh, John Kingsford.
John. Yes,
I
John.
feel good about this one, guys.
Mhm.
Kingsford.
Yep, Kingsburg.
Please. Tom's like, trick
Henry
question. It was
Ford.
Henry Ford.
It was kind of a total trick question.
funny.
That's why I had that listed, and I'm like, I think you guys should have picked the other one. I'm going to give you the other one
That's
just in case.
funny.
We're going to throw that one out. It was a trick question. It wasn't
No,
fair.
that's
In the 1988 film The Waterboy, what kind of animal does Bobby Boucher, his mama, serve whole at the barbecue with Bobby and Vicky Valancourt?
Aaron.
Dang
So,
it.
did anybody see that movie?
It's an alligator.
It's an alligator. Yes, you got that one. You got it. That whole John Kingsford thing was such a BS question. Some of these questions I didn't write. I grabbed them from trivia stuff that I do. Sometimes my boss writes.
That
and
was
all
fun.
So,
That was
anyway.
fun, Tom. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Ladies,
Are you sure it was fun? It's
well, with as many people as we had on the screen, it would have been nice to get a perfect score, but it is what it is. We had a good time.
That's okay. I think you got 5. You got
We
5
did
out of
good.
7. That's
We did
good.
well.
It's about the average. It's about the average.
All right.
So-
So Alpine Kiwanis BRAT Days. Nobody wants to miss this. This is a big deal every year, and this year it's July 11th and 12th in the Cherryville Mall parking lot, and it's simultaneously at the Farm and Fleet on East Riverside Boulevard, right over there by the interstate. So get out there, get your brats, get your tickets early if you can, but if you can't, that's okay. You can drive up day of and pay the extra couple of bucks. It's still a great deal. When they drive up, Kathy, when they drive up, do they get a ticket with the coupons if they pay at the gate?
If they pay at the, the day of, then they'll get the coupons. Yes.
Okay. So there you go.
So when a semi drives up, do you make them go with their horn?
A couple of order takers that have done that. Yes.
Like it.
Do the little thing like all the 12-year-olds used to do. Actually, the adults do.
Absolutely.
But we have roller skaters too from the Rockford Rage, that come and deliver orders to so it's fun to see a roller skater deliver an order to a semi.
Absolutely.
And it's even more fun when they go like that and the brat goes up in the air. No,
don't do that.
And if you bring your puppy dog, they'll get a
kidding.
biscuit.
All right.
Ooh.
There's a plug to bring your dog.
What if you bring
Bring
your
dog to
cat?
BRAT Day.
Ladies, cat food.
You get a little sardine on a.
We wish you the best for BRAT Days again, July 11th and 12th. And thank you so much for being on the In Crowd 815 podcast today. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right.
very
There
much.
goes Kathy and Karen.
Thank you.
All right, and let's turn things over to our friends at Boone County Jiu-Jitsu. Jason and Aaron, thanks for coming on today, fellas. We want to learn about you guys first before we get into all things Boone County Jiu-Jitsu. So Let's start with Aaron. Tell us, Aaron, where did you grow up and go to high school, and what eventually led you to Boone County Jiu-Jitsu?
I actually grew up in Rockford. I graduated from Jefferson High School in 2004.
We got a Jayhawk in the building.
Yep.
Yes. Go Jayhawks.
All right.
And Jason and I, we've been training together for going on almost a decade now. And we decided to open Boone County Jiu-Jitsu last year. We've been talking about it for years, kind of our I don't want to say dream, because that makes it seem kind of lofty, but it was always the plan, like we would do something together. And so we decided to finally take the plunge and open our own gym out here in Boone County in Belvedere.
Okay. All right. Jason, about you, where did you grow up and go to high school and led you to Belvedere?
Early years in Leaf River, Illinois. I went to high school in Oregon, Illinois, a little ways south of Rockford. And then I moved to Rockford. What's that?
We got to go Hawks.
Yeah. I moved to Rockford, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. And been training jiu-jitsu, like Aaron said, over 9 years. And and we've been talking for years about starting a gym together. And we kind of realized that there was nothing going on out there in Boone County. Belvedere was going to be a good place, and it's growing. So we wanted to bring, self-defense, fitness, and martial arts to Belvedere.
Awesome. Good deal. Well, so are either of you or both of you involved in the competition circuit of things? I know the jiu-jitsu has grown quite a bit over the years. Are you both involved in competition type stuff?
So we do. We've both done competitions in the past, and actually I'm looking to do one again in the future, relatively soon. I know there's one coming up in Rockford in December that is a big deal that hasn't happened. And usually when you compete, like if you're from the area, you do a competition, you have to drive about an hour and a half in any direction in order to find a competition. And so we're having one. UW Sports Factory is hosting one in December, and so we're pretty excited about that. Just for jiu-jitsu as a whole, in the Rockford area, it's growing. It's in the last 10 years, it's just exploded.
We should probably take a step back here real quick and say, what is jiu-jitsu? I mean, people probably know what karate is, and people might know what MMA and stuff that, you hear the different, boxing is so old school now. It's beyond boxing. There's all these other things. What's the UFC?
UFC had
all these different things.
But along those lines, I was going to actually ask the question: how many types of jiu-jitsu are there, and what separates the types? So you can answer that while you're answering what he just asked.
All right, me.
Here,
Okay.
Go for
it. So, wait, give me the question again. Which one am I answering?
Okay, so my question is, how many types of jiu-jitsu are there? Because you guys are Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Is there like a Korean jiu-jitsu? Is there American jiu-jitsu? How many types of jiu-jitsu are there, and what separates one from the other? Almost like Spanish dialects: Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban. They're all Spanish, but they all have a different dialect.
That's a good way to describe it, actually.
Yeah. And then Greg's question was, what exactly is it? So maybe tie the two together.
Okay. So as far as jiu-jitsu goes, it originated in Japan as a subset of judo, basically.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu, I'd like to describe it as essentially the non-striking half of the UFC, like MMA, mixed martial arts.
There you go.
The whole idea is to close the distance with someone, take them to the ground and control them, and eventually submit your opponent through a strangle, choke, or through a joint lock that has the potential to cause injury.
Okay. I remember as a kid, one of the things some of us in the neighborhood learned was this thing called judo. And what I remember about judo was using your opponent's momentum against them.
Yes.
And that kind of helped me not get my butt kicked a few times. It's been a good thing. I really like that, but I've never learned anything about jiu-jitsu.
But not getting punched in the face is my favorite thing.
Exactly.
You saved a ton on lunch,
Exactly.
right?
I'm not going to kid you. There was a night when a couple of guys in my neighborhood jumped me, and if it wasn't for judo, I wouldn't have got away. I threw one guy in a ditch, and the other guy saw that happen, and he was like, "Holy crap! How did he do that?" And I gave me a chance to run away.
That's awesome.
Scary night, but yeah. Anyway, so if people want to get involved with Boone County Jiu-Jitsu, there's a competition aspect to it. There's a sport aspect to it. There's a workout aspect to it. What do you find yourself mostly focusing on there at your facility?
So, I mean, there's obviously a competition aspect to jiu-jitsu where, you know, two people that do jiu-jitsu, they're practitioners, they come together and they battle each other to see, you know, who comes out on top on that particular day. And there's value to that for sure. We like to focus more on the self-defense aspect of it. Having someone who may be a smaller person, a more vulnerable population, having them come in here, learn the skills that they need to defend themselves. And obviously you're going to get a workout too. Anytime you're moving your body through space, especially if you're unfamiliar with what's going on, you're going to get a workout, both mentally and physically. And there's value to that. And so that's kind of what we focus on. We like to be a more welcoming gym. We do support competitors. We have a couple people who are doing a competition in June, and we're looking like we want to, you know, support our competitors, but that's not our primary focus. We're not pushing people to compete. We're pushing people to make themselves better.
Right.
And if the competition is your way to do that, absolutely, we'll support you.
So is there a part of your gym that focuses on like the working out aspect of it? Is there is there a weight room at your place? Is there other things that you encourage people to take part in? There's plenty of workouts you can do without weights. So it's not like you need a weight room to do, you know, workouts and stuff like that. But I guess, what do you guys do as far as encouraging people to work out and better their overall physicality of their body, their sport?
Jason, this one's yours.
For sure. So that's kind of a multifaceted question, but I think the important part is it kind of depends on like what you're there for. So like Aaron said, you know, we're focused on people who want to learn self-defense, and through learning self-defense, you know, like moving your body and learning how to move another person's body, you're going to get that workout, and just being around those like-minded people who are there to do the same thing, you're going to accomplish that. So we have our regular evening classes that are more self-defense focused, you know, and obviously we're getting them that good workout. And then in our morning classes, we have like a competition class that's a little bit more intense. And so those are fitness focused people. They're obviously going to get a good workout because they're going hard in that competition style training. But I'm also a fitness coach. I'm a certified kettlebell coach. So we have kettlebells, clubs, and maces at the gym. I have a side business, so I do group classes and personal training for mobility, flexibility, and strength. And so a lot of our people who are doing the competition class or preparing for competition, they usually work out with us in those classes or privately with me, and I help them with that kind of stuff.
What is your greatest success story? Like somebody came in kind of timid, kind of shy, kind of like, I can't do anything. I can't do anything. And then all of a sudden, a year later, 6 months later, 2 years, or whatever, they're out there kicking butt, taking names. And I don't mean it to sound that way. You're not doing this so you can go out there and be, you know, king of the hill. You're going out there for protection and for safety, and maybe to help somebody in an altercation at a grocery store or something. What is your biggest success story that you can point to?
Well, we haven't been open that long. One of our students here came to me with a story, and she's going to be mad at me because she's watching right now. But she's going to be mad at me for sharing this. But I'm going to, so be mad about it. But
call her Sally. She'll be fine.
But she's been training for several months here, and she shared a story where she was at work, and there was a person who was a little bit aggressive with what's going. You know, he didn't like what was happening, right? And she kind of works in an enforcement capacity. She's not law enforcement, but it's still kind of that capacity. And the person was upset with what was going on and decided that they wanted to attack her. And she was able to. So the description was the person came in with, you know, the crazy, you know, angry man's punch, and she was able to kind of duck under it and close the distance, come up with the clinch, and she was able to kind of protect herself and maintain that position until until help arrived.
Mm.
And they were able to kind of settle that without incident. And she came away. I mean, the person was bigger than her. She's not a large person by any means. I don't want to, call her small, but she's definitely on the smaller side. But she was able to protect herself in that moment, keep her composure, which is honestly the most important part.
Right.
And then protect herself. Yeah, there she is right there.
This is on your Instagram page. Just so you know, this is public stuff on Instagram. So I'm not just finding stuff that's hidden somewhere.
But she was able to
Now
protect
you are in
herself
trouble.
and come out of that incident without any issues. And I don't know if I can take all the credit because she's a pretty scrappy person. Like, I think she would have been fine regardless. But the way she described it was pretty textbook what we teach here at Boone County Jiu-Jitsu. And so it was just awesome to hear. And again, I'm not going to take 100% of the credit because she is who she is, but it was just good to hear that, our people are absorbing the information and using that to keep themselves safe.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd say, no, that's a wonderful answer. I love that. But my biggest thing is it's all about confidence. It's all about you come in here thinking you can't do anything and you leave, whether it's you leave a week or 2 weeks or a month or 6 months, and you go out into the real world and you realize, you know what, I have some skills here. I can do that because you're instilling confidence. And most people have it in them. They just don't know it. And it sounds like that's what you guys are doing. You're bringing that out in people. I love it. I think it's
learn where to grab and what to grab, and all of a sudden, hey, now I got some leverage on someone who might be twice my size, but oh my gosh, I got the right part of the wrist or the ankle or the whatever, and it's like, hey, this saved me from a bad situation. So
what Tom said is absolutely correct. Like, a lot of people have what they need inside them, it's just they don't have the confidence. So what we do is we give them those skills, and once they have those tools, then they're going to come away with that confidence because they know, like what you said, Greg, like what to do, how to do it, and when to do it.
Absolutely.
And by the way, those are lessons that help you in life as well. Now you go into a job interview a year later, and it's like, you know what? I'm a jiu-jitsu person. I know what I'm doing. If this guy doesn't hire me, I'm taking him down. But I'm just saying, you have that ability.
Let me add to that. I mean, jiu-jitsu for me, like I'm the type of person, I'll see something shiny, I pick it up for a month, and then, all right, I've learned everything I need to learn from this hobby. Right. Yeah. And so I'm going to move on to the next best thing. Jiu-jitsu is aside from being a parent and aside from being, my day job, jiu-jitsu is the longest running hobby I've ever had. And I've made that part of my life. Right. And that's honestly because jiu-jitsu is deep. Like, once you get the more you go, the more you learn what you don't know. And there's a hunger for it. Like, you kind of, even your brain gets satisfied. Like, obviously we're learning physical skills, we're moving our body through space, but there's a mental component to it. Just building that comfort in uncomfortable situations, being able to, like in the story I described, like someone larger than you attacking you, there's an element of discomfort just from that. Right. And so being comfortable here in the gym allows you to be more comfortable in stressful situations outside of the gym. Right. And putting yourself out here in the gym, learning new things and struggling. Like, jiu-jitsu is not easy per se, because it's unfamiliar movements. Like, everyone kind of knows how to throw a punch, right? Not everyone knows how to do a hip throw. Like, not everyone knows how to, do some of the submissions or some of the movements that we do here in jiu-jitsu in general. I can't even say here at Boone County, but like jiu-jitsu in general. A lot of those movements are very unfamiliar because we don't do them every day. So there's an element of mental struggle that makes you stronger, right? Just mentally. And that translates, like you said, that translates to life in general. Like, I can do hard things. I can, grow because of it. Because there's a lot of, failure, like, learning is failure. Like, you learn through failure.
That's what when I have 3 grandsons, and the oldest one, when he was little, he really struggled with losing. He hated to lose at anything.
Everyone does. Everyone does.
Listen, my man. So listen, there's two things in life. There's winning and there's learning. You never lose, you just learn. So let's just make sure that, the next time we play a game and you come up a little, a point short, you were really close, but you learned something playing that game, and next time you're going to beat grandpa.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? So
we just want to make sure that we give people like a safe place to do that learning.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I'd rather you learn in here rather than I learned at the bar or I learned in the parking lot or anything like that. Because that's when learning hurts.
Right.
You know, learning in here isn't supposed to hurt. It might hurt your pride. It might hurt your ego. You might have to grow, you know, mentally, but you're not going to be hurt physically.
You know, in defense of him, Greg, you're 3 feet taller than him. You shouldn't have been playing basketball with him. Come on.
Hey, if
So
Steph
unfair.
Curry can beat, you know, Victor Wembanyama, yeah, that's right.
Okay, so another question is, what about the age range? How young can you go into jiu-jitsu and how old? I mean, can I go?
Absolutely.
Do it?
Absolutely you can.
I'm not going to because my bones hurt too much.
Promise you.
I'm out. I'm out of the game, but
so, ibuprofen and happiness. You're going to have a great time. I promise.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But what's the youngest?
So for our classes right now, we go from 8 to 88. Like you can come in and train.
Wow.
Anything younger than that, we don't have a program set up right now. We're looking into it in the future. It honestly under the age of 8, and 8's kind of an arbitrary number, but under a certain age, it ceases to be jujitsu. It's more just like moving your body through space. Like it's almost gymnastics at that point. But as far as being like too old, there's no such thing. Obviously it's a physical sport. You have to, you know, mind your body and listen to your body and that sort of thing. But
Right.
I've known people who were essentially retired, and they've found success in jiu-jitsu and they found value in it. I knew someone. How old was Carl when he started?
I think it was 62 or 63 when he started.
Right, and he spent a couple years. He actually ended up getting his blue belt, and he was still training. And as far as I know, the only reason why he quit is because he moved away. One of our good friends. But
when he moved, he was 66 and still training.
Training.
So
and so like
a level of brown belt, blue belt, black belts in jiu-jitsu.
I'm sorry.
There is a level. There's a like a karate or something. There's a levels that you can attain. And
yes, it goes white, blue, brown, white, blue, purple, brown, and black. And on average, about 2 to 3 years per belt level, depending on the belts and the instructor and how often you train, that sort of thing.
Cool.
But yeah, no, you definitely there's no age limit. I'm sorry. You kind of have to, you know, obviously protect yourself and that sort of thing, but it's all about the environment. If you're going in and you're rolling again and you're, you know, not competing, but you're rolling with some 18-year-old who doesn't understand the culture, right? And they're not going to protect you. Like we preach this at our gym a lot is we can't train jiu-jitsu by ourselves. Like with karate, you can go and you can do a punch and you can do a kick and you can do the kata. And kind of demonstrate the movements. It's very difficult, if not impossible, to demonstrate jiu-jitsu without a willing participant, right? And so if we're out here just grinding away and beating up our friends, then they're not going to want to train with us. So it limits our ability to learn.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we want to be good partners for us. We want to be good partners. We want to be good partners for our training partners, so they can learn. We can learn. A rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah, and play is so important in our community, in our life, and in order to be able to play anything, you need another willing participant and someone who's not just going to crush you if they're way better than you are. You know,
exactly.
It's nice to play a game of chess with someone who's also, you know, played a few games of chess, but once you sit down with a master and he defeats you in like 2.5 minutes, it's like, okay, where's the fun in that, right? Maybe you learned something, maybe not, because they defeated you so quickly.
and there's value in that too. But if you're doing that every day, plus it's a physical sport, so like mentally you're getting crushed every day, but then physically you're getting crushed every day. At 62, maybe that's not something you want to put your body through.
Yeah. So there's weight classes or age classes or different things that categories. So pretty much there's something for everybody, I imagine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
As
But
far as time,
what
oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say what you said highlights a really important point, about like jujitsu. We often talk about it kind of like a dimmer switch. The idea is you don't have to hurt a person if you don't want to. So it's so awesome for our students to see when they come through the door and they think they have this idea of how they're going to be able to fight. And then they see Aaron and I handle ourselves so well, but also trying very little and doing things very easily. It's so cool for them to see and feel that. So yes, absolutely. We could crush them easily if we wanted to. And it's good for them to see and feel that. But also at the same time, once they kind of get into training and they're doing regular training, it's really neat for them to kind of feel and see how you don't have to be so aggressive and try so hard and still be able to control a person and get the job done and have some fun while you're doing it.
It's cool that it is something that it's not just about strength. While strength is important, it's only one aspect. The techniques involved. If you're a better technician, you can often beat someone who's stronger than you just because you know what to do. It's a whole different thing.
That's basically the
whole point of
jiu-jitsu. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. You know where to grab, you know where to touch, you know where to, whatever. And if you know that and he doesn't or she doesn't, then you are you've already got that step up ahead.
That's right. Well, we're excited to have In Crowd 815 networking group come out to your place in June. So the last Thursday of June, our next In Crowd 815 free networking event will be at your place right there, Boone County Jiu-Jitsu, which is 986 Belvedere Road in Belvedere. That's just a little northwest of town, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we're on Belvedere Road right next to DIY Yogurt. I know a lot of people know where that is or they've been there before.
There we go. So you're like in town.
Yeah.
Let me see if this comes up. There we go. There's the little pin drop right there.
Yeah, you're probably out by the old Shopco, right?
South of Logan.
I'm not sure.
So you're on the west side of town.
Oh, yeah. South. Logan would be south.
See, here's the little the belt line.
Oh, yep.
So it's
yeah, so like if you know Logan and Belvedere Road, the corner there's a pretty main intersection. We're real close to that.
Right across from the church.
So just south of Logan on Belvedere Road and across the street from Emmanuel Lutheran School and the Emmanuel Lutheran Church over there in Belvedere. So this is the place we're going to be last Thursday of June, which is the 26th of June. And for those who are maybe tuning in for the first time, the In Crowd 815 networking group is the 815 area's largest absolutely free non-membership networking group that meets the last Thursday of every month, January through October. We just had an event this Thursday at Marshmallows Hope in Rockford. Thanks to Laura and Logan and their team for hosting us on Thursday night out there. We got to learn all about all things Marshmallows Hope and what they're doing in the suicide prevention and counseling services here, which they offer absolutely free services to the 815 area here. So if you know of anybody who needs counseling and maybe has had some suicidal scares and that sort of thing, there's the place to plug into right there at Marshmallows Hope. And then Boone County Jiu-Jitsu will be the place to be on June 26th. All we ask is that you bring business cards and a smile. That's all. Just bring a few business cards. Plan on meeting a few people you probably have never met before. And maybe you'll like what you hear about Boone County Jiu-Jitsu and want to take a class or come back and check it out again later. Maybe it won't be your cup of tea and you won't, but that's okay too. It's cool to know what's available in our community. It's cool to know, especially with this new place that just opened this year, really, to see what they're doing in Boone County and in Belvedere and learn all about what these guys are doing from youth all the way up to 8 to 88. So plenty of opportunities for people to plug in and be a part of the Boone County Jiu-Jitsu program out there with Jason and Aaron and their team. So is besides the two of you guys, is there anybody else that's employed or otherwise involved in your business?
No, Aaron and I are doing all the coaching. We're running the place together, and obviously, like, we have one of our students who kind of helps us with the kids' classes and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're the go-to folks. And if you have questions, you could definitely reach out to us for sure.
Awesome. Well, we've got the link in the chat. Go ahead, Tom.
Well, we got to send a shout out to Cassandra, who's watching. So, hey, Cassandra.
There we go. Watching on our YouTube channel today. So come out and join us. You're invited. Just consider this your invitation right now. 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. This is a kind of an after hours, couple hours, the last Thursday of the month. And this month of June will be at Boone County Jiu-Jitsu in Belvedere. So very looking.
And we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, we're looking forward to seeing everybody there. And like you were saying, it's a networking event. And so it's going to be awesome to meet some people and do that thing. I've been to a bunch of your events, and it's a blast, you know. And like you were saying, if anybody's not interested in the networking part and they're interested in the jiu-jitsu part for them or some kids that they might know, all of our information is on social media. We got some great Google reviews out there. Our website, BooneCountyJiu-Jitsu.com, has a lot of good info. And if you're interested, we have a 7-day free trial. So if you'd like to try it out, no risk, no cost. You can train as much as you want, unlimited classes for 7 days, and you can sign up right on the website.
That's a good offer. And Jason's been great about networking with the group here for, a couple of years now, really. I think you've been coming around for the last couple of years. I'm looking forward to meeting Aaron in person out there the end of June. But I want to commend Jason real quick, because networking is a contact sport. All right. And what I found over the years of doing this for about, 15, 16, 17 years, more specifically, is there's a segment of people who think they can go to a networking event one time, hand out business cards to 10 or 12 people, and then think they've done something and never come back. And I promise you, most of those business cards disappear, and they might get looked at one more time before they hit the circular file, and that's it. But once someone has met you 2, 3, 4 times, and you've actually had a conversation with them, and now all of a sudden they like you, they know you, they trust you, and now they want to do business with you. And even if they don't want to do business with you because of your business doesn't fit their needs, they know somebody who does. And they again, there's where the networking happens. This is where the magic.
Yes. And when they've got your card in their hand and they look at it and go, what is it? Oh, that's right. Yes. I'm going to contact him or her. And they don't throw it away. They make the contact because they like you. Like exactly what he's just saying. Because I was cleaning my office here not long ago, and I found some business cards from like 4 years ago, and I don't remember who they are. It's like they're going in the circular file. So you're absolutely right, Greg.
Showing up once or twice really isn't enough. It's multiple things. And that's why we also encourage we will encourage people to join some of the more formal groups. There are some great groups in the 815 that cost money to join. And there's a lot of benefit to them. There's AM Spirit groups and BNI groups and other groups that do a lot of active networking. And we highly encourage you to do those if they fit your plans and your budget. But especially for those who are just starting out and your budget is kind of like this, big goose egg, come out to an in-crowd event, keep coming out. You'll meet similar people each time. There's always somebody new. This last one we had at Marshmallows Hope, there's I think 3 or 4 of the people that had never come to an in-crowd event before. And to a person, they're like, we're going to come back. This was great. This was fun to meet some new people and learn some new things. So
that is awesome. I want to say one more thing, if you don't mind. Parents, if you're watching, kids, if you're watching, grandparents, if you're watching, we're all faced with challenges in life. We're all faced with that thing like, hey, you want to go steal hubcaps with me? Or you want to go behind the barn and get drunk or whatever? Listen, find something that you can glom onto. Find something that's healthy, that's good for the mind, good for the body, good for the soul. This is something that is good for the mind, body, and soul. No, I've never done it, but I know it is. I know it is. I played football all my life. I know how much I felt when I played football. I know how I still play softball. I know how I feel after a game. It's like, wow, that base hit I got in the second inning that turned the lineup upside down, and then we scored 4 runs in the next inning. That was on me, No, I'm just kidding. But find something that works for you and give this thing a try. I would do it, but my body hurts all the time. I shouldn't be playing softball. These are good decisions that you'll make now. If you don't, like Greg says, if you don't like it, if it's not for you, fine. Then don't come back, whatever. But give it a whirl rather than stealing hubcaps, rather than doing something that's going to put you down the path of something destructive. It is so important. And then the final thing I'm going to say is my grandsons, who are in the next room, they're here. I say that every week because they spend the night every Friday night. And I love them. They're so awesome. Dominic and Ben. They're 9 and 7. They'll be 10 and 8 in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Because it's June 1st tomorrow. They'll be 10 and 8. They have birthdays that are a couple of weeks apart. So that's kind of awesome. I would love to get them involved. So Ben wouldn't be 8 until no, Ben will be 8 on June 14th. Dominic will be 10 on June 26th. Or June 24th. I would love to get them involved in something because they have so much energy. They don't tell them I said that. I'm going to consider this because this is something I think that and Dominic is one of those. He's a very bright kid, but he does lack confidence. So I think this is something they would love because they're always out there wrestling in the yard.
Perfect. Yeah. Jiu-Jitsu is great for that socialization for the kids. It gets them off the screen, out of the house, interacting with other kids and doing things that are like challenging them, which is important for their development.
And honestly, it's like it's a bonding moment for you. Like they'll come home from class and they're like, oh, guess what I learned today? And they'll show you, just like, the kids will, look what I drew for you. It's the same thing. They're going to want to show you the physical skills that they learn. And so it's just another.
It's like, Grandpa, come here, dude. Give me your arm. I'm gonna flip you over. It won't hurt. I promise.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard from students. I went home and tried this on my husband, or I went home and my kid came home and she's always doing moves on me, or like she's showing her friends or whatever. That happens a lot. Is the mental stimulation, the excitement of it all. It's a new skill and it's a lot of fun. It's just fun. That's really what it is. It's fun.
Cool.
Our motto at the gym is a journey is better measured in friends than in miles, and like my testament to that is I met my best friend in jiu-jitsu. You guys are talking to Aaron right now. He's my best friend, and we met, at the gym.
That's so cool. That is awesome. It's all about relationships.
There you can read it on that logo now.
What you just said. That is awesome.
There it is on the logo. A journey is best measured in friends rather than miles. Love that.
And that's him throwing me, by the way. Like, if we're being
I was going to ask who's the throwee in that picture. Well, guys, it's been great having you on today and learning about what you guys are doing there in Boone County and in Belvedere. And we're looking forward to hopefully having a dozen or 2 or 4 or 10. Who knows how many people will show up. Again, it's a free, no RSVP event. So you just show up. We always encourage people to show up between 5:30 and 6:30. Try to get there before 6:30 because typically speaking, our in-crowd 815 events, 5:30 to 6:30 are just open networking, mingling, having some hors d'oeuvres and a beverage and just getting to know who's there. And then at 6:30, the host tells us about what they do and why they do it. And that's typically what we do at most in-crowd networking events. So probably going to do that this time as well out in Belvedere. So gentlemen, any final thoughts before we let you go through the weekend here?
I was just going to say, Tom, if you're interested in getting those kids in, just hit the website like I was saying before, www.boonecountijujitsu.com. You can sign up for that 7-day free trial right there, schedule your first class, sign the waiver, the whole thing.
All right.
There we go. And Jess says, yeah, get in there and do that with your kids. Do that with your kids. All right. All right, gentlemen. Well, thank you again so much for coming on. And you guys have a great rest of your weekend. All right. We'll see you in June, at the end of June.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You too. Thank you.
There they go.
Gentlemen.
Man, oh man, oh man. I told you we were going to go.
All right. If I ever.
What's up?
Yeah, that's okay. If I ever find myself in a dark alley, I want one of those 2 gentlemen there with me.
Our current.
Or I'll just.
Current race to 10 is Tom in the lead by a score of 7-5. And our big number of the week this week is 100 million. And the answer is music or monitored. And I know you sent me your answer and I
I did.
I have to double check and remind myself what it is. Where did it go? There's your guess. All right.
There it is.
So the enhanced games. Have you heard of the enhanced games?
I have not.
The enhanced games are an Olympics style competition where the athletes are allowed to take what, Tom? Performance enhancing drugs. Absolutely. So it's scheduled to happen in 2026 in Las Vegas. There are confirmed competitors for the enhanced games so far, including some swimmers who previously competed in the Olympics. This competition is primarily funded by a venture capitalist firm called 1789 Capital. They promise $1 million to the athletes who set new world records. So they are banking on people at the enhanced games to set new world records in a lot of different events.
Okay.
The enhanced games might sound really, really dangerous, but they say they're actually quite safer because athletes will be monitored and will not be using these drugs in secret. Okay.
$1 million.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, know what you're putting in your body and what it's going to do for your future. But the enhanced games coming 2026 in Las Vegas, I think we're going to hear a whole lot about it, especially by, around New Year's as we get closer to it. Are we going to watch it? Probably
Not. I don't want anything to do with, first of all, performance enhancing drugs, but anything that could be dangerous. I put enough stuff in my body, i.e. sugar and coffee or whatever, that, as I grab another sip of coffee, I don't want to do that because, you feel later
leery
in
of it
life
as well.
when
I totally am leery of it as well.
Well, if you look at, not to get off on a tangent here, but if you look at guys like Lyle Alzado, an absolute stud in the NFL in the 70s, 80s, and then there were so many more, they died really young because they were all doing steroids. And, and then of course we started going, whoa, wait a minute. Because back then nobody cared. Back in the 70s.
Right.
So,
And as technology changes and as these quote unquote drugs are synthesized and redone and all this stuff, I'm sure there's some that are safer than others, but how safe are they, I think, is the big question. What do you want for the rest of your life? So be mindful of stuff like that. But I think what it comes down to, people watching something like this, is it usually comes down to stories. What's the story that's being told? Is this former Olympic swimmer that was a good swimmer, made the Olympics a couple times, and now they're using a performance enhancing drug of some sort? And if they break a record, that's going to get some attention. I mean, that's going to get some eyeballs on some videos anyway.
I'm putting my money on Lance Armstrong. He's going to make a comeback and win everything.
I don't know about that, but I am going to take the point this week because music is actually the answer, not monitored. And
but wait a minute, the thing was $1
million.
million.
The answer, 100 million.
100 million.
Guess how many Americans are now paying for a streaming music subscription? 100.
I'm going to go with 100
million of us pay for a streaming music subscription, which I kind of find a little bit funny because you might remember a couple years ago, LeBron James was asked what he listens to while warming up in his Beats headphones, and he was saying something about listening to Spotify, and somebody asked him if he paid for a subscription. He goes, "Heck no! I listen to the ads. It's free. I don't need to pay. Why would I pay?" I thought that was that's awesome. Even LeBron James is like, no.
Guy's got $1 billion and he can't afford to pony up $11.99.
He's fiscally responsible.
I pay for Spotify.
He's fiscally responsible. If you want to spend money, spend it here. InCrowd815.com. Get your 815 gear. We got some really cool, fun stuff like this T-shirt right here. You can't buy the microphone flag. We don't have those for sale, but we do have cool hats, and we're working on some other fun stuff here in the future as well. So if you're a little deficient in the 815 gear in your closet and in your dresser drawers, pony up for some InCrowd 815 gear. How about that? And show it around town. That would be
I think I'm going to get me a 3XL in crowd 815 white
Awesome.
T-shirt.
Awesome.
But I tried to go on. I tried to go on the website, and it took me into this thing. Oh, you got to require this field, and you got to put here, and you got to do this. I couldn't figure it out. I threw my
You
computer
threw
in
your
the air.
computer in the
I
air.
got frustrated.
That's not good.
No, I'm kidding. I
Um,
didn't. I may have thrown my quiz in the air like
Well,
that, but no, I don't throw my computer. In the air.
Here's in crowd 815 right here. So when you go to in crowd 815, there's the networking group. You can take in information about that. The podcast. Oh, you're listening to that right now. We have a Patreon page, and then of course events as well, and how to contact us. So there's all the stuff there on in crowd 815. And if you go to
Well, that's not the page.
you go to
I
the
was on.
merchandise, go to the merchandise site right here, and you'll see all this stuff.
I just Googled 815 in crowd, whatever, and I got something else. I didn't
Look at
get
all
that,
this fun
so,
stuff.
okay.
The
Yeah, that is
quarter
cool.
zip
All right,
fleece. We got polo shirts. And everybody needs a hat. It's summertime. Get yourself a good hat. If you prefer, you can get a white hat. Yeah,
I like it.
there you go. So check it out, incrowd815.com. And boom, boom. There's our networking site page and all right there. So
Yeah.
we'll put the link in the chat for you today here as well. So make that really simple. And hopefully we'll start seeing some more in crowd 815 gear floating around the state line.
All right, you're putting that in the chat
Put that
page here?
right now over here.
All right, do that, and I'm going to
In
take
the
a
chat.
picture of it.
In crowd 815. So easy to do.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what I was on. I was on something. I was looking for merchandise, and somehow or another, I don't know, not the most internet savvy guy in the world. I'm pretty good with it, but I'm not,
Well,
I'm not at hacker level yet.
We've gone definitely way longer than we normally do today. So any final stuff you wanted to talk? I know you had some sports on.
I wanted to talk just a couple minutes of Packers.
Yeah.
And actually, I want to get your prediction for the NBA Finals. Knicks Pacers are still, they got 2 games left tonight, and then Tuesday night. Tonight is game 6. It could go to Tuesday. But anyway, Knicks Pacers, but then it's going to be Oklahoma City or Knicks or Pacers. So first and foremost, I think Oklahoma City.
The Thunder has been the best team all season, so I don't see, and they seem to be healthy enough, so I don't see them not winning the whole thing. I think they're the team to beat. I think they're going to win it all.
What separates the Thunder from most teams is they're killer from 3-point, but when 3-pointers aren't working, their mid-range game is so good. This is why Boston is not in the they're not in the finals anymore, is because Boston's 3-point game went stone cold. You have to, if you and their mid-range game wasn't good enough. So if you're not, they had 63s and only made 14 of them in that final game against Indiana, or New York, against New York. But anyway, enough of that. Jair Alexander, it looks like he's staying with Green Bay.
It does.
That's what
I've heard
hearing.
He's kind of reconfiguring his contract a little bit, and also made a huge donation to a not-for-profit or something. He's doing some really good stuff to try to make things smooth over as far as his attitude goes.
I like Jair Alexander. I always have. I think he's a good team player. That whole thing in the Carolina game 2 years ago, where he got suspended because he came out on the field. Look, he went to Carolina. He didn't go to Carolina. He was personal friends with. He went to LSU, I believe. He was personal friends with some of the guys. He went out there and he shouldn't have. And he knew it.
He screwed up.
Got suspended for a
He
game.
fessed up.
He screwed up. And you know what? He's still on the team, and I think that speaks volumes, because Matt LaFleur is the ultimate communicator, and he proved that when he had to deal with Aaron Rodgers for 3 or 4 years. I watched him 5 years. I watched him roll his eyes, going, "Are you kidding me? Really?" I mean, it was awful. But anyway, so Jair's contract, you're right, he restructured it. What I believe they're going to do is they're going to put incentives in there. Hey, listen, you play 12 games, you get this much. You play 14 games, you get this much. might give him a little more incentive to play through the pain. I don't know what his deal is every single year, how he's that injury prone. Some guys just are. But I'm looking for big things because right now they have shored up that defense to the point where they may have the number one defense in the league.
It's going to be good. I don't doubt that. I don't know about number one, but it's going to be probably a top 10,
it's going to be
5.
phenomenal. Oh, it's going to be certainly top 5.
Half these
but then you
have been figured out after a year of being in the NFL.
But he disguises them well. That's his biggest thing. He disguises them well, so you can figure him out. But if you're giving him the same look every single time, and then some guy's dropping back and the quarterback doesn't catch it quickly enough, advantage Green Bay. So let's go over to the offensive side. What they've done on the offensive line. If Jordan Morgan pans out the way they had hoped, he was injured most of last year, he would be probably the starting right guard. You've got your left tackle already in Zach Tom. You've got a right tackle in Rasheed Wallace. He may not be around next year. They may shop him around, whatever. But you've still got Elton Jenkins, probably would be your center. You've got Sean Ryan. He may be gone too, though. They have a plethora of offensive linemen. A plethora. You've got tight ends. You've got running backs. They drafted another running back in case Marshawn Lloyd doesn't work. They need to take the pressure off of Josh Jacobs. They're going to run him into the ground if they run him as much as they did last year.
I don't think they will.
Need Marshawn
Jordan
Lloyd.
Love was injured last year. I think they ran a lot because of his injury, so I don't see them running as much this year.
I hope you're right on that. I think that's a good point. I hope you're right. I hope you are because and then the receivers, they got that Golden, Matthew Golden,
Matthew Golden, and of course now with these let's see, NFL draft tracker, they took that tackle. Where do we go here? I was hoping I'd get a list when I search for this, but I'm not getting it. Oh yeah, there we go. The tackle from North Carolina State, Anthony Belton.
Savion
Williams, another wide receiver.
Williams.
The defensive lineman, a defensive lineman, cornerback, offensive line, John Williams out of Cincinnati. So there's
what the Packers did with their draft is they sent a message. That was the other thing they wanted to do. And you're right, my camera is blurry. I'm going to work on a new camera.
Time for a new camera.
I'm maybe my eyes are blurry. Whoa, maybe my eyes are blurry. I don't know. But anyway, they sent a message. They were basically saying to the wide receiver room, you guys better perform because we got these two guys that are going to fight you tooth and nail for a job. And I expect Matthew Golden to win a job. I expect him to be our number one or our number two. Probably number one. It worked for it worked for Justin Jefferson. It worked for Jamar Chase. Now I'm not putting him in Jamar Chase
not yet.
No.
Category,
but he can be. He can go out there and get 80 receptions for 1,100 yards and about 8 touchdowns, and he's a superstar. He's an NFL superstar. This other guy, Savion Williams, maybe he's a 3, maybe he's a 4. I don't know. But I think the guys that are going to be gone, possibly Dontavian Wicks, he can't catch.
He dropped a lot.
Packers led the league in drop passes last
promise
year.
Too. It was so exciting to see him those first half dozen games or so, and then it just started getting to be sticky, slippery fingers there.
Okay, so here's a stat: the Packers were 11-6 last year. They lost. I don't know exactly how many games they lost by 1 possession or fewer. Might have been 4, maybe 5. That 1 possession. If you've got a drop third down pass that would have kept the drive going and you get on and score a touchdown or a field goal, and instead of losing by 4 points, you win by 7, or you win by 3 because you scored a touchdown, or instead of losing by 2, you win by 1 because you kicked a field goal, that makes a difference. You don't think it makes a difference in week 8, week 9, week 10? It does. It absolutely does. So I'm just simply saying, you catch the ball like you're supposed to. You're being paid multi-millions of dollars per year. Catch the stupid ball. That's all I'm saying. So this
Little
is why
drop.
they went out and made that message. And we've got 2 wide receivers coming in. They also did the same thing with the offensive line. We're drafting offensive linemen. We're drafting defensive linemen. We drafted a running back, and we had 8 picks. And I think every single pick was exactly the hole they needed to plug.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really happy about what the Packers are doing this year. And I really do believe they're going to win the division and go deep into the playoffs. I'm not calling for Super Bowl. I'm not. I'm just not. But I think they're going to go very deep and challenge for the NFC Championship.
It's it's going to be hard for the NFC North to have as good a season this season as they had last season. However, each team appears to have improved except for the Lions. Lions, of course, losing their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. Probably going to take a step back this year. I can't imagine them not taking a step back this year.
Did Minnesota improve? You can't improve on a
good question.
14-3 record. You can't improve much on a 14-3 record when you lose your quarterback. I don't care who they bring in. They're going to bring in an untested J.J. McCarthy coming off of
You know what
injury.
I'm hearing, though?
I don't see J.J. McCarthy going 14-3.
What I'm hearing is the return of Kirk Cousins. Because because he didn't work out in Atlanta. It sounds like it's a very real possibility. Kirk Cousins is going to go back to Minnesota, going to be happy being put, the veteran training the new guy. Cause he's made his money. He's done his thing. He's still got skills. If he can stay healthy enough, he could lead that team back to the playoffs. Yeah.
That might scare me a little bit, except Kirk Cousins is 74 years old now, and that's a problem. I mean, he doesn't have the mobility. He's just like Aaron Rodgers, who's just a little older. He's 76. They don't have the mobility anymore. So the prospect of Aaron Rodgers coming to Minnesota, the only reason I didn't want that is because I didn't want him to follow the same
he doesn't want it either
pattern. And then
he doesn't want it either.
I hope
he's going to end up with the Steelers. He's going to end up with the Steelers. He's going to be there. He's going to be their starting quarterback, opening day quarterback. How is he going to stay healthy enough for a whole season? I don't know. Do they have a good enough running game so he doesn't have to throw the ball 50 times a game? I don't know.
Well, they got rid of Najee Harris.
What are they going to do?
I don't know. What are they going to do? Oh my goodness. You talk about bare bones. I don't know what they have anymore. And they also lost some defensive players too. So it's going to be a very interesting year for Pittsburgh. I think this is the first time that Mike Tomlin, this is my bold prediction. It's not even a hot take. Mike Tomlin will have his first season ever losing record. He'll probably go 7-10, maybe even 8-9, and he will be let go. He will be let go after this season.
I got a feeling that's a very, very, very real possibility this year.
The other part of that is that Aaron Rodgers, after week 4 or week 5, will be replaced by whoever the second string quarterback is, and it will be a very, very bad, messy divorce. That's what I think. Because Aaron Rodgers doesn't get along with anybody, right. And somebody like Mike Tomlin, who basically says, "This is my show. You will do what I say." Aaron Rodgers is like, "I'm sorry, I'm 76 years old. I will do what I want." Okay, he's not really 76. Don't say that. Top guy is really weird. He's not 76. He's 40.
He's 41. He'll be 41 now, right? This year. So, all right.
Well, his birthday's in December, so he'll be 41 in December. Is that right?
I think you're right. I think it's 41 in December.
Okay, so he's either 41 and will be 42, or he's 40. I think yeah. Either way.
Well,
so. It's going to be interesting.
Special thanks to Alpine Kiwanis BRAT Days ladies for coming on with us today, Karen and Kathy. That was great. BRAT Days, of course, coming up in July, the 11th and 12th. Cherryvale Mall and Farm and Fleet, the 2 locations for this year's BRAT Days event. Always a good time, always good food. It's so easy. And $10 day of. $10. Easy peasy, so good. Next week, we're going to learn about a couple different things, Tom. We're going to learn about Gemini, Gen X Power and Gemini Solar and the grant program that they have available to not-for-profits here in the 815 area. They're planning a big solar project And we're going to learn about that from Anne Marie Williams. And then Anne is going to join us from Rock Valley Credit Union, and Michelle from the Tails Humane Society of DeKalb. They're in the 815. They've got a great Humane Society in DeKalb, and we're going to learn all about that with Anne and Michelle. There you go. Oh, by the way, this weekend, Grease is being performed in Byron, the Gateway Performing Arts and Byron Civic Center there at Byron Middle School. We're in a really great theater. Grease is being performed this weekend.
Yep.
And break a leg, all you gals and guys dancing to and singing to the tunes of Grease.
What time is the Sunday show?
You had to ask me that. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I can find out. I'm thinking about taking the boys to it. I think like
Grease in Byron.
I got chills. They're multiplying. And I'm losing
Byron Civic
control.
Theater. Okay, why? Here it is. Grease. Purchase tickets Sunday, June 1st, 2 p.m. They got shows today at 2 and 7 p.m. tonight, or 2 p.m. this afternoon, and then tomorrow at 2 o'clock, their final performance of Grease at the Byron Civic.
I may take the boys to that. Okay, so two things finally. I did something that nobody should ever do. I corrected you a couple times today. I apologize.
That's what friends do.
No, I know. I mean, it's all about information. I know, and I don't mind being corrected myself. But I felt like, no, Greg, that's not right. And it just sounded kind of like
when my mind goes faster than my mouth, I say like that's what I did. I said something a place, and I was already talking about the next place. No, back up.
No. Anyway, so I apologize for that. And the other thing is, if you don't have anything going on Thursday night this week, we'd love to have you back at trivia. You're part of the team.
Well, it's prime season for rehearsals and all things Starlight Theater, so that's taking precedent over everything here.
I know, but I'm just saying we have $80 worth of coupons now.
We're doing pretty good out there.
We won on Thursday.
Good
John
deal.
And I did. We did. Yep. And we won $60. So we got plenty of money to
awesome. All right, free dinner for me. I'll see if I can get there.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here for another In Crowd 815 podcast. Later, Tom.
Go Packers, go Cubs. Bye-bye.
815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815 in crowd. 815